An early lunch. Welcome. We are chatting to Amanda Webb, who is actually one of our speakers for Social Media Fest. Really excited. Amanda, welcome.
Hello. I'm really excited too. I can't wait till next week. Get to see everyone, get to go to Expo, get to be on a stage and be a bit boasty. It's all good.
Yeah. And it's been a while. I think everyone's looking forward to actually meeting up in real life again. But the fact that it's a social media event, we love that because I know you've been on social media for a long time, and your niche actually it seems to be well. Actually, you've got your show where you give all the social media updates that a lot of people don't know. You know them first. How do you do that? How do you get to know them first, Amanda?
So over the years, it's evolved. I do have a big list of sources, like websites that I go to find stuff. Matt Navarra, I was following him on Twitter and getting lots of stuff from him, and now he has like a WhatsApp group. So that's been really useful. So there's that, and then just general stuff that pops up in my feed. So I have a whole lot of sources that I go to. It's really finding the stuff that's important, I think, because there's a lot of stuff you can get. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with Twitter X, as you know, and I'm kind of like, is that relevant? Is it important? Or will I just give that one a miss? So this week I have an Elon Musk bell that I ring when we talk about him, but this week we won't be talking about him. I decided it's not relevant. It's fine. So that's kind of where it comes from. I'm not into kind of like the gossip side. It's
Yeah.
more like what's relevant to your business and marketing your business.
Exactly. And that's what I love about you as well. You really do think about the client and the business owner who needs to learn this stuff. And sorry, just to tell people what it's called, what's it called? The weekly.
The digital coffee.
Yeah. And when is that? Every.
Every Friday at 9:30 a.m. on all my social channels. So if you follow Spider Working anywhere, you'll find it.
Yeah. Definitely worth tuning into, folks. So, Amanda, you're going to be speaking at the Social Media Fest on the 29th of November. We have sold out, and thank you so much for helping us promote it as well. And it's really exciting. So, it just shows there is a need for social media training, and people are still confused. I think it's because there's so many platforms out there. There's so many things that you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And I think business owners are confused. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you and I started out, there was probably the three, right? I remember talking about the big three, which was Facebook, LinkedIn, and I was going to say Instagram, Twitter.
Was
They were the big three. Instagram didn't exist back then.
yeah.
And there were lots of kind of little startup social networks that were obviously carrying on from them. And we'd gone past the stage of like MySpace. And what was the other one? It was another one. So really it was those three for years, and it was quite easy to manage because you could customize for each three platforms. You didn't really have to do video if you didn't want to. I'm going to cough again, excuse me.
No problem.
Sip of water.
Sip of water is allowed. I like your pint glass.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just water. But so I think, yeah, and now it's so much more complicated because we've got, TikTok. I mean, I know there's other things you can do on TikTok, but pretty much no point using TikTok unless you make videos, and very specifically like your vertical videos, and they have to be a certain length. And then you've got Instagram, which we know, they like their vertical videos, but they also like carousels, and we've also got stories, and we've got all those different elements. And even like the Facebook's we've got groups, and we've got pages, and we've got like, now you can have like an account people can follow, and you've got live video, and you've got, there's just so much now. And I think people do need that help. They really do need to know what it is they should be doing, or should they be doing it all, or should I be focusing on that? And I think that's what's going to be great about Social Media Fest is you have like all your subject matter experts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people can choose. They
Yeah.
can go, right, actually, this is where I see my business sitting. I really think I can run with this, and it's going to be really helpful to me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I do think that business owners, we're so busy as it is. And then trying to get time to do the social media can be a challenge, but also knowing which platform is the right platform to be on. And I always say, choose two, but mostly where your audience are hanging out. Because you could be on TikTok and doing great stuff on TikTok, but, when it comes to your audience, your target audience or your target customer, are they actually using TikTok? No, I consume TikTok myself. But I mean, Twitter and LinkedIn would be my strong areas of where my audience are hanging out. So for you, I know your talk is all about measuring your success and seeing what's working. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I think the first thing to say is I'm not going to be one of those people who comes along and accuses you of looking at vanity metrics. I think that's such a bummer when people do that. They go, it doesn't matter how many followers you've got. Of course it matters, because if you don't have followers, then nobody knows you exist. It doesn't necessarily matter if you've got 10,000 or 1,000, as long as you've got the right people following you. So we're going to look at each of those things, both for your website and for your social media, and what you should measure, what's important, how you should measure, and what it actually means for your marketing. So like you said, we should have two, maximum I would say of two, that you really focus on of your channels. And it's really interesting when I've been dissecting my own, and you're going to see some of the stuff I've been doing on my own site, that, you know, LinkedIn is my primary channel. I don't really use, my whole thing is I don't use Instagram, but weirdly I get lots of conversions. So lots of people joining my email list, and those people turning into customers as a result of Instagram. So by dissecting the data, I've gone, oh, well, maybe Instagram should be my second platform then. So that's what I've been doing recently. I've been dabbling with Instagram, but still LinkedIn is bringing the best results, because obviously I'm business to business, and that's where people hang out.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I remember seeing something like, I think it was Pinterest. I got traffic from once. I was like, oh, it's interesting. But yes, it is really important. And that's why you're going to be talking about, how to measure your success, and then what to do, I suppose, if you do see that, hang on, this is actually really working well. Maybe I need to go back and think, okay, maybe I need to start posting on this platform, which will involve different size images, different strategy, slightly different strategy and stuff like that. So, I think it's really important. And that's why I did the event, with Wexford Chamber SkillNet, because I just knew, like, I was going to events, Amanda, and everything was AI, digital this, digital that, AI this, AI that, which is really important. But at any time there was a talk around marketing or social media, you couldn't get in. And I'm like, this is interesting. And this was in Toronto. This was in different countries as well. And I said, someone's missing a trick here, because obviously these are the most popular talks, but yet there's no room to get into them. So I said, maybe I'll just do an event just about social media, like I did years and years ago, which was great. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, we were right, because it sold out. But this is the first time I've done a live stream during an event. So virtual tickets.
Yes,
So
that's great.
Yeah, the nice thing about, I think you can't do a social media event without a virtual option, really, So I kept putting it off and putting it off, and then I was like, okay, I give in, But that's the lovely thing, is that even if you can't make it in person, you can still come along virtually. We will be monitoring the comments. We'd be so you'll be able to see Amanda sharing her knowledge, and you'll be able to see the presentation, listen to the presentation, and also comment. There will be someone monitoring it all the time. So, I mean, there's no reason to miss Amanda if you can't see her in real life. But definitely, I do think that there is a need. And I think the lovely thing about online and social media is, like you and I, for example, like, we know each other years and years. We've probably never sat down actually in real life and had a cup of tea.
It's so true. Yeah.
We haven't. We haven't. I've never bought you a pint, or, I don't think we've actually ever sat down and had an old natter, you know, because every time we meet, it's at an event, or we're doing a Zoom like this, or but we know each other enough to know that I will support you and you will support me. And that's something lovely that you wouldn't think you could build a relationship online, but basically our relationship is an online relationship. Yeah.
Absolutely. Though that does sound a little bit dodgy.
It does.
When you said that, I was like, not that kind of relationship.
No, not that kind of relationship. No, I don't send her messages with love.
You're not sending me sex. It's okay.
But yeah, but the point I'm trying to make, I suppose, is that
Sorry,
you can
that's
build
my dirty mind.
That's her mind, don't worry. But you can build relationships online with your customers, so that's what I love. And you can go global as well. So, like, even the fact that we have the virtual ticket option means that people can join from a different country and join our Irish event, which is really cool. So yeah, and for people who are wondering, Google Analytics, did they change to G4 or something? Is there something that needs to be done there? Or
Oh, there was a massive
Or
A
yeah.
massive change. Now, you probably don't need to do anything because it did switch accounts over for people. But if
Oh,
you
good.
haven't looked in a while, yeah, you're going to get a shock when you look, because everything changed in a big way. So even people that were very au fait with their analytics were really freaked out by this change. Now, I kind of preempted it. I knew it was well, we all knew it was happening. I didn't put it off. So obviously, because this is what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
I help people with their Google Analytics. So I needed to learn it.
Yeah.
So luckily I have that there. But it is completely different. I think the good news is, if you are one of those people that rarely looked at their analytics and you didn't have anything special set up, at least, this isn't going to seem quite so horrid, because everything's changed, but you won't really know how much has changed. So you can start from scratch there. I do have like courses and things that you can do that will help you out with that basic, beginner stuff. I actually prefer it now, but I see a lot of hate for it. And I think we all hate change. And this was such a major change.
Yeah.
And people are just utterly confused by the whole thing. And I totally get that. So, if you haven't looked in a while, it's going to have changed, but don't worry, because if you didn't use it that often, it's not going to seem too dramatic to you. You'll just have to learn again.
Okay. I'm thinking of people who are watching this that are going, what are they talking about? They're talking about tech stuff. They're talking about what are analytics. Do you want to explain exactly what, like, basically it's, if you have a website, folks, do you want to explain that, what analytics are and why you need to use them?
Yeah. So firstly, I'd just like to reassure you, if you're coming along to Social Media Fest, I'm not going to go into big technical details, and we're going to look at social analytics as well. So, like things like how many your followers and your reach and all those things that you're used to. But if you have a website, you should install Google Analytics on your website. It's quite simple to do, but you can just have a talk to your web developer. It'll take them half an hour maybe to set up. So it's not a big job you're going to ask them to do. If you do nothing else, just make sure that you've got that. And once it's installed, you don't need to go to your website. You go to a website that Google have, which is Google Analytics. And it shows you how many people are visiting your website automatically. It shows you how many people are looking at how many pages on your website, if they're playing videos, if they're scrolling through stuff. And it will tell you, but this requires an extra little bit of setup, but it will tell you when people buy from you, or when people maybe download something, or people fill in a contact form. And then you can track that back to your social networks, your email marketing, to whatever else you're doing to try and drive traffic there. So this is where you can find out, is all the time that you're spending on LinkedIn, on X, on Instagram, in my case now, is that worth it? Is it driving people into your website? Are those people converting into people on your email list, customers, or good qualified leads? Once you know that, you can start optimizing what you're doing to make sure you get more. And you can also see, is your website working? Are people just landing on the homepage and going away, or are they doing other things? So all that is really helpful info to have. It is a little bit technical at first, but like I say, there are plugins. It depends what sites you've got. I just noticed that Wix is absolutely brilliant, and I never said a good thing about Wix in my life. Their websites look good, and it's really easy to integrate your Google Analytics properly. Some of the other sites make it a little bit more difficult. I'm a WordPress user, like die-hard WordPress user. There's great plugins that can do that for you, and that makes it a lot easier. It's really that when you get into your analytics, it's like, whoa, what are all these numbers? What are all these things? Where do I need to click? What report is important? Now, obviously, in a 30-minute talk at Social Media Fest, I won't be able to give you all the answers, but I'll give you some teasers so that you can get started at least.
Brilliant, brilliant. And, people are a little bit afraid, I think, of the tech lingo, and I suppose we know, well, I'm not even techie. I mean, like, we know a lot more because we're in this business. But for someone like, maybe, let's say, that sells baby clothes or something, it is still important for that person to know, okay, did those sales come from Instagram? Did they, like, are they loving my blog, or are they not even bothering going to my blog? So it's about seeing what's working, isn't it? And then, creating some sort of kind of sales funnel, and that we'll also be talking about that at Social Media Fest, to get people in, that they will actually give you their email address and all that kind of stuff. There's so much we're going to be talking about. Actually, we could probably fill up another day full of social media talks, couldn't we? We could probably do 2 days.
2-day event next time then, right?
Maybe, yeah. Wexford Opera House could happen. But yeah, it's like, so for anyone that is contemplating joining us virtually, is there anything that you would like to add? But also, if anyone's struggling and doesn't really understand what we're talking about, that's it's okay. Not a lot of people don't understand this stuff, but if you want to learn, that's actually what Amanda does. She teaches people, don't you? You teach people all
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Yeah. So, like I say, I've got a self-paced course, so it's an online course you can do. It's I'm going, how much does it cost? It's a low-cost course.
Yeah.
It's like, and you'll find that on my website. My website is spiderworking.com. You'll see there's like training options, and there's done for you. So I can do all the setting up for you as well. So there's those options. I do one-to-one training. I'm just about to relaunch my group training program as well, which again, that's all not just Google Analytics, that brings in your social analytics as well. So it's not just focusing on kind of that. And my job is just to make it easy. So Google's documentation, I think that puts you off. If you go and read a Google article on how to do something, it's just an absolute nightmare. You know, it's like it doesn't make sense. So I like to take that and simplify it and just show you the simple things that you can do to measure it. And that I'm not going to give it away because I'm going to show you some of that stuff at Social Media Fest, like just using simple stuff like Google Sheets, you know, that you can get for free. You can just like click a button and get a chart. It's so handy once you have the information there, and it's just translating it between the two. So that's my aim, is to make it easy for you. And that's what I try and do with my training.
I can't wait for your talk, Amanda, and thank you so much for your support always. And folks, I've just put her website up there, spiderworking.com. Do get in touch with Amanda if you want to have a chat. And in the meantime, join us virtually on the 29th of November. And if you've already got your ticket, definitely look forward to seeing you there, and follow me or Amanda for links to the virtual tickets as well. And thank you very much, Amanda.
Great. Thanks for having me. See you soon.
See you Wednesday.